Hello and welcome to everybody on Cloud Fitness. So in today's video, we are going to discuss another Leet code problem which is rotating an array based on a given index. Now this is also a very common interview question and I will leave the link in the description box so that you can practice the same question as well. So let's move on to the Leet code and see what exactly the problem is. So if you see on the left hand side, let me just zoom it. So if you see on the left hand side, it says given an array, rotate the array to the right by k steps, where k is a non-negative. So essentially this is an array which is being given to you, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then they have also given k steps. K is equal to 3. So these are the two inputs that you have. Now when k is equal to 3, based on the index value of 3, you have to rotate the array to the right by k steps, right? So if you see 1 is at 0's index, 2 is at 1 index, 3 is at 2 index, 4 is at 3 index, right? So total how many steps it will be? 1, 2 and 3 steps, right? So to the right, if you shift it one by one, so you will see when you move it, when you rotate it by one step, what will happen essentially is 7 will come to the 7 will come as the leftmost element of the array. Now when you rotate it by 2 steps, right, because you are rotating it to the right, because your array, the values in your arrays are moving to the right, correct? Because how they are moving to the right? Because earlier 1 was at the 0 index. Now since you are moving it to the right, now 1 will be at 1 index, right? So similarly, when you go and rotate it by 2 steps, right, what will happen is 6 will come to the first index and your whole array will move again 1 step. Similarly, in the third step, again what will happen is 5 will come as the first element of the array and it will again move to the right, correct? So this is how essentially the question is presented to you, and the k will always be non-negative. You have to understand this question and then you have to think how you can implement it. I will be implementing it in the Python. So here you need to make sure about the you should always think about the boundary conditions first. So coming on to the boundary conditions, boundary condition will be that the element that is given to you, right, k, that value should not be equal to 0, because when that value is equal to 0, then in that case there will be no movement, right? When k is equal to 3, you have to move 3 steps, so k should not be equal to 0. That is why I have written k not equal to 0. This is the boundary condition that I can think of. Then another boundary condition that I can think of is that the length of this particular array should not be equal to 1, right? So if I say that okay, let me give it length of this particular array, which is nothing but nums, right? If length of this particular array is equal to L, right? Now in that case we have to make sure that this L is also not equal to 1, right? So these are the two boundary conditions that we have to give, right? Only if these boundary conditions are met, then only we will proceed with the further logic, then only we will do the rotation to the right. That is the only thing after which we can rotate our array to the right, only if the value that is given to us, the number of steps are not equal to 0 and the length of the array is not equal to 1, because if length of array is equal to 1, then there is no point in moving to the left or right, correct? And if k is equal to 0, then there are no steps to move, right? So these are the two things. Now in this case what we can do is, so for example, first of all let me put it in the if clause, right, because that these two conditions are satisfied. Now if these two conditions are not satisfied, right, are satisfied, that as in that k is not equal to 0 and L is not equal to 1, in this case this is the best case. In this case, if both are not equal to 0 and 1 respectively, then we have to move it to the right. Now to move it to the right, they have mentioned, now this comment has come up, right, they have directly said that do not return anything, modify the nums in place instead. You directly need to modify the array, this nums you directly need to modify, you don't need to return anything. Now in this case what we can do is we can use list indexing, right? So when I say indexing, essentially, let me show you this. So what is this L? This L, or you can in fact think of this L as nums. I am showing you this for the better understanding. So when I say nums, right, so this is basically nothing but the indexing that is in place always, right? So let's say I do minus 1 of nums, right? So essentially what it will give me the minus 1th element. So how it happens is indexing part. Okay, let me write it again to make you understand how indexing works. So this is my nums list. Now indexing, if we do indexing from left to right, indexing works like this. This is my indexing from left to right. I will say left to right. So this is my indexing. But if I am doing my indexing from right to left, right, so my 7 will be minus 1, my 6 will be minus 2, then there will be let me just write it clearly, then my 7 will be, then my 5 will be minus 3, 4 will be minus 4, 5 comma minus 6, and this will be minus 7. So this is the indexing that works from right to left. So if I try to calculate, so this 0 is at index 1 when I am doing indexing from left to right. But if I am doing indexing from right to left, then my 7 is actually at index minus 1, and then my 6 is at minus 2, then 5 is at minus 3, 4 is at minus 4, 3 is at minus 5, 2 is at minus 6, and 1 is at minus 7. So this is how actually indexing works, right? Now in this case, let me show you the output as well. Now the moment I say print nums minus 1 colon nothing, it means that print me everything from minus 1 till end, right? And in this case there is no end, right? So it will only print 7. Now if I say that print me colon blank colon minus 1, then what will happen is it will start printing me everything from the start until my index of minus 1, but it will not include the rightmost element. It will not include the minus 1 over here, minus 1th element. It is not going to include this. So these are the concept of indexing in Python. Now using this concept, I am going to see how we can actually provide a solution to this problem. Now if both these conditions are met, I can say that my nums, right, I am saying that my nums can be equal to nums minus k. I am going to show you this as well, how, plus nums colon minus k, right? As also remember that this is, and here I need to mention that my k module k is always equal to k modulus L. Right, now I am going to explain you this. Now how does this works, right? Now if I say my k, right, just imagine that my k is 3 in this case, right? In my case k is 3. Now how it will happen? Now this is the same nums that I have. Now if my k is 3, what I have told you is my solution is actually this, right? Let me just copy it and paste it over here. This is my solution. Now here, if my k is minus 3, what I am saying is that addition of this and this, right, these two things is my output, right? So first see what is the output for nums minus k till end. Now k is minus 3 over here, right? I am giving minus 3 as the k because k is 3 over here. Now if I am giving minus 3 till end, what is happening is this is minus 1, this is minus 2, and 5 is minus 3, right? So from minus 3 till end, it is actually giving me this as an output, right? Now in the other case, right, if I say minus 3 here, right? And if I run it, now you can see what it is trying to do. It is trying to go from the first element till the minus 3, right? Till the minus 3, and it is not including minus 3. It is only including till 4. So we are doing nothing, but here we are just trying to sum these two things, right? Now if I try to sum these two things, you will actually get what we need, because our value is going to shift. So the moment I ran it, you can actually see what happened is nums minus 3. So by 3 steps, right, 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, it has moved this value as it is to the right hand side, right? This is exactly what has happened. 5, 6, 7 is the output of nums minus 3 colon nothing, right? Why? Because minus 3 colon nothing, it is taking 5, 6 and 7, right? But when I am saying and nums nothing colon minus 3 is nothing, but starting from 1, it is going till minus 3 value, minus 3 index, and it is not taking minus 3 index because that is never included. So it is taking 1, 2, 3 and 4 as the value. So this is the same output which is also described in this question, right? So this is how you actually, kind of see that how you can rotate the element by, the kth value or the kth index that has been given, the kth steps, right? Now if I run this particular code, let's see if it has any issues or it passes. Now you can see that the runtime is 58 milliseconds and it has come up, and let me just submit this part and see how, if other test cases are also passed. Now you can see that other test cases are passed, and so we have reached to a successful end of this particular question. So thank you so much for being till here, and do let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts, or you can solve this particular problem using any other approach as well, because there are numerous approaches to do this particular question. So thank you so much for being till here.